This is Ark Survival Evolved. I'm Damont. Welcome to episode 11 of our island playthrough. Last episode, we got ourselves a few more tames, a couple of T-Rexes, and a few other things to get our kibble farm up and running. We've got everything moved back to the base right now, and already with just a couple of pairs, like there's two, a male and a female T-Rex, a male and a female Argy, and a whole bunch of turtles, we're already getting tons and tons of eggs. Just in the short time that I've been kind of tending the farm, getting like the crops up and running, I've gotten a ton of eggs. The turtles are giving me massive amounts of eggs. Like I have 56 turtle eggs already, maybe about 6 Rex eggs, and even the Argys are starting to produce. And we haven't even really gotten this place fully set up yet, so that's actually pretty good progress. The turtle eggs are coming in faster than I can actually produce any of the kibble. Just to kind of show you around, the one thing I'm gonna need a lot of is jerky once we start doing kibble. So prime meat jerky and cooked meat. We've got enough oil and cooked meat put into here just to let this constantly run. I've already got probably about 3 of these, 7 of these, and I've got 2 of these running. Eventually I'm gonna have a whole row of these preserving bins, and I'll have them just constantly producing jerky. But right now I'm getting eggs way faster than I can actually produce the jerky, so this is actually the holdup right now. And all you gotta do is, as you're kind of doing your stuff around the base, just start grabbing these eggs as they drop them, and you'll end up with a ton of them. The Rex eggs I'm gonna need for more advanced kibble, but we're gonna need more T-Rexes. So the first thing I wanna do, well, kind of 2 things are gonna happen this episode. We're gonna do some management on our farm here and get a few of the important things started. And then we're gonna head out. There was that high-level baryonyx that I saw on the last episode. We're gonna go get that once we've got the appropriate kibble made. But the first thing I want is to actually start making, actually we need to change these guys. Behavior, attack. We'll put these guys on neutral from now. Normally for a kibble farm, you don't want these guys wandering off whenever something random attacks you. So you usually want to keep these passive. So all the turtles are passive, the Argy up there is passive, just so that if, you know, any of these stupid seagulls or whatever, you know, that's around here, some stupid dillo comes along, we'll just let the trike and a few of the others go ahead and kill it. And these guys will just stay here, so we don't have to keep moving them around. But we want to turn on, I need more Rexes. So instead of having to wander around and get them, we're gonna actually just breed a couple of them. And at low levels, it's not very hard to do. So I just go into behaviors. This used to be a lot more complicated. You used to have to wander in order to breed, and so you would almost have to tie these guys down or trap them. But now you don't have to do that anymore. You can just enable mating. He's ready. And then enable mating here. Oops. There, and I should in a second get a timer. Yep, there we go. All right, so these guys, yeah, you can see it. So they're mating right now. So you're gonna see when this gets to 100%, it's gonna drop an egg, and that'll be a fertilized egg that we can actually produce a dino. We're gonna do that with the Argies as well, because I need, in the end, I'm probably gonna want maybe about 6 female and 2 or 3 male Rexes lined up that are producing eggs, and the same thing with the Argies. So let's get them started right off the bat. Okay, there we go. So these guys are all set. This will probably happen a lot, well, maybe not. But anyway, yeah, when these guys are finished, it's gonna produce an egg that we can use to mate. So we're gonna start breeding up Argies and Rexes, so we're gonna let that run for just a bit. While we're waiting for that, we'll actually get some of this kibble. We're gonna be working on just regular kibble for now, and we'll get some of that started. So let me pull this stuff out. So we got 14 jerky right now. Oh, there we go. So we've got 1 egg that's fertilized. So we can actually make a Rex out of that. Now this is gonna have a cooldown timer, so she's not gonna be ready to mate again for another 40 minutes. I think the males, yeah, it's like right away. But yeah, so 40 minutes is gonna take, and then once that passes by, we'll come back and we'll grab another egg. In the meantime, we can actually get that started. I've got some torches set up over here, and I don't worry too much about the temperature at this point. I mean, you can get exact with it later on in the game. when you have like air conditioners and you can set the perfect temperature. But basically all you really got to do in the beginning, especially low level, is just line up a bunch of torches and just turn on enough of them to get the incubation started. So let me see if I can do this correctly. Alright, so this is, you'll notice the egg's health, so it's gonna slowly start to die, so you gotta get these things turned on. When you turn on enough of them, the egg will start to incubate. And this is gonna generate a ton of heat. Actually, let's put on the right gear for this. And it's too hot, so we have too much heat there. So we're gonna turn some of these off and not pick up the egg. Put that back in there. Still too hot, so turn off some more. And there we go. So we finally found the correct temperature. So this egg is gonna start, so we just let that run. The egg is gonna start to incubate. Once it gets down to 0%, it's gonna hatch and we're gonna have a Rex. Sometimes it's just one Rex, sometimes you can get twins or triplets. We won't know until this actually starts, so we'll just leave that alone for now. Now I have no idea what the temperature for an Argy or how many of these torches we're gonna need for this, so we're gonna have to experiment with this as well. So I've got this set up to where we can run 2 of them at a time. I mean, you can have a whole row of these if you want to, but it's not that big of a deal. Alright, so let's start turning some of these on. Too hot? Oh wow, so this one we gotta move away. So just the heat being generated from these is too hot for this guy. Alright, let's pick this up. So we'll move it way out here and test the temperature. See, even this is too hot. What's the temperature around here right now? So it's about 60 degrees. So it looks like I'm not gonna be able to do, and I wasn't even aware of that. It looks like we're not gonna be able to do any of the Argy eggs right now. So we'll turn off the breeding on them for the moment. We're gonna need actual air conditioners in order to do any of these Argy eggs. But when you put them in here, it's pretty easy to tell, like this is a fertilized egg because it has like the life and health meters. Once you put it in a preserving bin or in a fridge, it'll be fine. I mean, the spoil time here is, yeah, it's ridiculous. You're never gonna run out of these. So that'll just sit in there until we get some air conditioners. And so yeah, we'll just focus on the Rexes for now. So just in the time that we left to go do that, we got another 5 or 6 turtle eggs. It's ridiculous. Now it's gonna take some time for the Rexes to be ready again. So in the meantime, we'll focus on this egg. Let's see, this one is too hot. Okay, so the temperature, you'll notice, changes as the day goes on. So right now, it's 62 degrees. So it gained a couple of degrees, which means we were generating too much heat. So now we're incubating again. So you gotta keep an eye on it, because the health will start to go down if it's too hot or too cold, and then eventually the egg will just die out. So you can tell that egg is gonna take about 30 minutes to hatch. So the spoil time's really, really high. So we're not gonna run out of the egg unless it sits here forever, but it's gonna take about 30 minutes for this to incubate. So we're gonna let this sit. We'll keep an eye on it as we go, and we'll come back to it when it's ready. Okay, and so since the Rexes are gonna take, it's gonna take about 30 minutes for the egg to hatch and maybe almost the same amount of time for this Rex to actually be ready to produce another egg, we're gonna head up north. What we wanna do is start to capture this baryonyx. So we can head up north, kinda get a few things scouted out, and then come back in time to catch those eggs. So let me jump on here. I've got basically all the materials we're gonna need for a taming pit for the baryonyx. Let's head up north and we'll scout out and make sure it's still there. Alright, now it's not specifically the one I was looking for, but we actually have a lower level baryonyx right over here. This might actually be a good one to test things out on. Let's throw down a taming pit, and we'll do it up on top of the ledge here. And we'll see if we can get that. We'll see if we can use our Argy and get this baryonyx over here and get the process started. Yeah, you can see I messed up the alignment of these, but it doesn't matter. Alright, so Taming Pit is ready. Now, we just hit nightfall, so we're gonna want to, before we start messing around with this baryonyx, let's head back to base, because it's probably been maybe about 15-20 minutes at this point, and we need to check on that egg. Normally, you wouldn't want to be away from the egg this long, because the temperature keeps changing, and so you have to keep adjusting your torches, so if we're lucky, the thing won't be dead by the time we get back. Alright, so luckily the egg is still alive, however... Oh no, it's still incubating. Alright, so we're actually in good shape. Alright, we only got about 10 minutes left on this, so we will wait for this to hatch before we head out, and I'll come right back. Now, normally you don't want to leave an egg alone this long, simply because the temperature is going to shift on you. When you're indoors and you've got air conditioners powered by an electric generator, you can set an exact temperature and then you can kind of fire and forget. But before you're at that stage, you want to kind of keep an eye on your eggs. So I think in the meantime, what we'll do is we'll get some kibble up and running. We're not going to need very much because I don't have very much actually cooked meat jerky right now, because you need that in order to make regular kibble. So we might be able to do, I probably have about maybe 15 or 16 of them, so we'll take about 17 of these eggs, and let me see what else we need in order to make that. So regular kibble, yeah, we're gonna need cooked meat jerky, the dinosaur eggs, fiber, long grass, and salve root. Now you can tell we've done a pretty good job on the farm. We've got tons and tons of vegetables at this point. So what did I need? I needed long grass. We don't need very much, so let's split these stacks quite a bit. And then salve root. Basically corn and potatoes. Not sure why they have fancy names for them. Alright, so that should be everything. We've got water, we've got our vegetables, fiber, we've got everything that we need to actually start making regular kibble. And right about now, the eggs should be, let's do... Yep, there we go. So let's light the fire. And it's gonna automatically start making this stuff. Now, I don't think we have anything else that we're able to make at this point. No, that's the only thing. So we're gonna let that run for now. We'll have to come back in a second because we're going to run out of water, but let's check on our dinosaur egg. No, that's doing fine. It's got about 5 minutes left. Alright, and now that it's nighttime and it's a little bit colder, we can actually start incubating the Argentavis eggs. So, I think right now... it's about 53 degrees, so somewhere around 50 to 60 degrees, this will actually start incubating. I think it's getting a little bit of heat from these guys, but yeah, so now we can let that run. Now, with the eggs, it's kind of nice, because you can start incubating them, and if I pick it up, it'll still be, like, notice it's at, like, 91.2%. Like, if I pick this up and put it right back down again, it hasn't lost any of its progress. So at night we can throw this out, get it started, and then pick it back up during the day if it's getting too hot. So this has about 2 minutes left. So we'll give that just a minute and we'll hatch our first Rexes. Alright, so in the meantime we've got about 5 kibble made. Now the thing that's kind of a pain in the butt in the beginning is you have these basic cooking pots, and so you have to keep throwing water into it to get it to keep cooking. So that's kind of annoying. Later on, we'll actually have some plumbing hooked up to it. Actually, no, that's dumb. We don't put it in there. We can put these right in here. We'll actually have it connected to plumbing, so we don't have to keep doing this. Alright, so that's got about a minute left. The sun's starting to... well, what time is it? Yeah, the sun's gonna come up in a minute. So, in a second, yeah, see, already it's too hot for the Argy, but we got the Argy started, and we'll pick it back up again tomorrow. In the meantime, this Rex is about a minute away from being ready to mate again, so we'll get another fertilized egg. All right, so this is, and it hatches. All right, so we want him to follow us. All right, so we've imprinted on him. Maybe that's what I gotta do first. All right, so now he's gonna follow me over here. I had to imprint first. I want him over here so he's away from those torches. And these guys, they won't feed off of a feeding trowel right away. So you're gonna need to get him some food before he dies. So for now, he can sit right there. All right, so you just chill out. Well, that's kind of a cool color. Sometimes the color changes though. Yeah, they don't have much inventory space, and you'll notice his health is gonna go down, so he needs to be able to eat faster than that health's gonna go down. If you don't give him food, he's gonna die off. He needs to be, I think it's, if I remember right, you need to get him to about 10% mature. Oh, and it's a female too, perfect. We're gonna need more females than males as far as producing eggs too. So we're gonna leave him right there for now, since he seems somewhat stable. Yeah, he's good. This is steadily going up, so we're holding our own, so that's good. Now these two should be ready to produce another egg. Yep, they're about 60%. Perfect. Alright, perfect. So we got our next fertilized egg, and we'll throw that straight into the fire, and we'll get that one started while we're waiting for him to heal up. Her to heal up. Make sure that the temperature's right. Yep, perfect. If you guys are curious, I'm using SS, so I don't know if it's different with the vanilla torches, but for a Rex egg, it looks like 6 torches will do the trick. That can go up or down depending on how the temperature goes. Like right now, if we look at the temperature, it's about 57 degrees. So if it goes up, if the temperature goes too far up, we're gonna have to check this egg to make sure that it's not too hot. Yeah, his health was at like 407, 405, 407 when we left him a second ago, and now he's up to about 420, so he's doing good. He's gonna be fine. It takes time though. You'll notice he's only at like 0.6% right now. Okay, so this Rex should be just fine. 1%, it's almost to 10%. Once it gets to 10, it's gonna start using the feeding trowel, and we'll just make sure we have enough in there, which we will, to where he can eat, so it should be good to go. This has probably about a half an hour to go, and I think temperature-wise, we'll give it a few more minutes, but we should be okay. Let's check on, now I moved the torches. I didn't like the fact that they were up on top of a hill and there was a bunch of trees and stuff around. I wanted it in a more wide open area, so I moved them over here. This one, we're continuing to incubate this one. It's almost done. Oh, okay, yeah. So we got about 10 seconds left here. So let's let this one finish, let it hatch, and see what we wind up with. Okay, so this is gonna be, so let's imprint. We don't need to name it. And this is gonna be a male. Okay, that's fine. So let's get it out of the pathway of these torches, and we'll give him some food and get him started. Actually, let's bring him all the way over here next to our other dino. Alright, this should work. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see his health kind of going down, so let's give him some food. He's not going to be able to hold very much at first, so you're going to need to put some in there. It's going to run out, and then you're going to need to re-equip him. But we'll get him started. So that kind of gets us on our way. So at this point, we're going to get these guys raised up. It's going to take time for them to get to 100% maturation. But once they do, we'll end up having 2 females and 2 males, which, I mean, is going to be perfect for breeding. And then we're going to scale it up from there. So I think at this point, we'll call it an episode. That's the farm up and running. So you can kind of see all the different parts of it working together to get us kibble, essentially. And kibble's going to get us higher level dinos. So what I'll do between now and the next episode is I'll kind of work up the farm a little bit. We'll finish up the Argy eggs, at least a couple of them, and get those up and running. And then I think next episode we're going to set back out. I know we were going to do the baryonyx this episode. We got caught up with the farm. So next episode, we've found 2 of them, a high level 145 and the lower level 40 that we set the taming trap up for. So we're going to do that one first. The baryonyx are extremely dangerous, so we're gonna take one of our kind of more garbage flyers over there, and kind of experiment and get used to getting those tamed. We should have some kibble up and running as well, so we should be able to tame it pretty quickly, but we'll see. It might actually end up killing us, but we're gonna find out. But guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Oops, sorry about that. I had to edit out a cough there. But yeah, again, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. If you're not subscribed already, please hit subscribe. I've got to get as many subscribers as I can. Next episode, like I said, we're gonna go after the baryonyx. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.